Hi there. My next video is going to be a how-to video. It's going to be the 200 millimeter conversion. Now I have a 2004 Superglide Sport Dyna, and for years now on the biker forums and especially the Harley forums, people ask this question: what size, or what's the largest size tire I can fit on my Dyna? Well, this how-to video is going to show you that I can put a 200 millimeter tire without changing the swing arm, without doing any modifications to the transmission, and for a lot less money than these wide tire or fat tire kits are sold on the internet. So with that said, let's get on with the video. The Avon Cobra 200 millimeter tire, 18 times 5.5 wheel, 40 spoke wheel, 40 spoke rim, and a white glide hub all assembled here. The tire, the rim, the spokes, and the hub you can buy from any aftermarket motorcycle parts warehouse. On the white glide hub, Harley does not make them anymore. You can't buy them. If you're lucky enough to go to a dealer and they have one on the shelf, otherwise they're not. Or you want to buy, you can buy a used spoke rear wheel with the white glide hub. You can also do that, and you can have it either re-chromed or powder coated. Now I bought these chrome, and I decided to have them powder coated because I like the black look. So but you will definitely need the white glide hub, so your bearings, your axle, and everything will fit into your swing arm. The only thing I had to do was I had to shave a couple 16ths off of each of the bearings, the right and the left bearing. When I mocked it up, I couldn't get the rotor centered into the caliper or the brakes, so I had the spacers shaved some. Also, you see here, this is the sprocket side of the hub, or now the wheel. This is where the sprocket is attached, like so. You'll see this is the flange, and you got this little lip here. Well, what that is for is your sprocket has this hole in there, and it's cut the same size as that little lip, and it slips on there. Like so. In order for this wheel, this setup to work, I had to put spacers on here. Here's the spacers you can get from Harley. They were 16-inch thick. So when I mocked it up, I put one spacer in there, and the belt hit the wheel. So then I took two spacers, and the belt still hit the wheel. So then I went ahead and got 3 spacers, put that on there, and I come to find out that with the 3 spacers, the flange is gone. I mean, the little lip on the flange is gone. It's flat now. So I assembled it anyway, mocked it up, and I was just barely, the belt was just barely touching the wheel, so I come to the conclusion I had to use 4 of these. So as you can see, with 3 of these, the lip on the flange is gone. If I put the 4th one, and then I put the sprocket on there and torque it down, there's nothing to keep the sprocket centered to the hub. So when you take off in the torque of the engine, instead of turning the wheel, it's going to actually start pulling your sprocket forward, and by doing that, if you come off too hard, it will snap the bolts. I had a spacer made, which is 1/4 of an inch thick. So now, and I had the machinist cut me a recess in the spacer, and that fits right on, as if, you know, same as the sprocket. This fits onto the hub, and this little lip here on the flange fits into this recess here. And then with this here, your sprocket with this lip here, and your sprocket fits on the here like so. The lip slides into the you know, the hole of the sprocket. Then you torque it down, you put the bolts in, torque it down, and now your sprocket is centered onto the hub. I had that worry that the torque of the engine, when you take off, will pull your sprocket off. So this is the main part of this conversion, is this spacer. I would call it spacer slash flange, because right now the way it's set up, it's a flange. So you can go to any machinist, and for, you know, not very expensive, this is aluminum, he can cut one of these for you. Just bring your wheel to him, and show him my video if you want, and show him you like to have one of these made, and for a few bucks he'll make it for you. So with that said, the tire, the hub, the spokes. Also, my spokes are the heavy-duty spokes are thicker than normal, for the simple reason I want to do some, you know, work on my engine. So I'm going to have more torque, and with the stock spokes, I've been hearing that guys that build their engines up are snapping their stock spokes. So I just went ahead and purchased the you know, the heavy-duty spokes, the thicker spokes. They're also stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about them, you know, rusting like chrome. And you can polish them to look like chrome. And you're better off not paying the extra 40 bucks or whatever to have them polished. You can polish them yourself. Every time you wash and then detail your bike, you can you can polish the spokes, and in time they'll be like shiny as chrome. So so just to give you an idea of what you need in order to do this conversion, this is it. This is the whole shebang right here. So now I'm going to go and do the mounting of the wheel to the bike, and we'll go step by step through there. Okay, we're all set up here now to assemble the sprocket and the brake rotor. So I have the sprocket side up now. You see that it's sprocket side of the hub is thicker. When I flip it over, you'll see that the other one for the other side for the disc is narrow. So first we're going to put the flange on. Slash spacer. Alright. Now here's the bolts for the sprocket, and it's 1/4 inch longer. I had to get new bolts. Here's the old one. Here's the new one. Just because of the difference in the spacer. Also, I'll use 2 drops of red Loctite on here. Alright, just snug them down, and I'm going to torque them. And we're going to torque these bolts down, and it's almost going to be like your lug nuts on your car. You're going to do it in a pattern. Okay. final torque. Alright, that's done. Now let's turn it over. Right, as you can see, this flange is more narrow. This is the disc side, the brake disc side. Now I'm using the stock Harley discs. I like the looks. I don't need to get anything extravagant. So this is a new disc. My original disc was warped, so I went ahead and now you got 5 screws here. I already put blue Loctite on these. Couple drops of blue Loctite. Now, I use a manual for my bike for all the torque values, and so it's best that you get yourself a manual that's for your model year. The screws for the disc is a Torx bit. Make sure they're all torqued. Okay, I'll take it to the bike and assemble the rest of it. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to get ready to do the final assembly of the wheel to the bike. The reason why it's taking me so long, if you're following my videos, it's been a while since I posted a new video, but I had to make a a plate to cover the wire harness to protect it from stones or water being thrown up there into it. So I had to fabricate that, and then I had to take it to the powder coater, and it took him a while. He was busy, so it took a while for the plate to be powder coated. And while I was having that done, I'll bring this over here to show you. Right here you have a permanent bracket here for welded here for the passenger peg. So I cut that off because I'm not going to have, this bike will not carry passengers no longer, so I cut that off, and I wanted to do that before I put the wheel back on. So that's done, and the protecting plate for the harness is done. So now we can go ahead and show you how this all works. Now, in order for this to all be put together, you need to cut off the struts. And if you saw my other videos, I showed you how I cut them off. Here's the old strut. And as you see here, here's the shock mount already painted. So now from there you can make yourself your own fender, or like I did, you can purchase one. It'll accommodate the the new width of your tire and wheel. And the fender I went with was the Voodoo fender by Rocket Bob's. So and when I get this wheel done, I won't be able to show you what it looks like because the fender itself is at the painter, so I can't show you how it's going to look. I don't even know how it's going to look. There's going to have to be some probably adjustments and stuff to get it as close to the tire without it hitting. So I will probably make another video later on. But right now I'm going to show you that a 200mm tire can be adapted to put into this 04 Dyna frame. Now this frame had a 150mm tire with a 16-inch wheel. So like I said, the only way that can be done is to get rid of the struts. But as far as that's the only hard part about this conversion. Everything else, you could use the same belt. You don't have to buy a new swing arm. You don't have to do any modifications to the transmission. You don't have to buy any sprockets. The only thing, or pulley, the only thing you need to do is let's figure out the spacing between the belt and your wheel, and have a flange slash spacer made, which I showed you in the beginning of this video. Now I have to make some corrections here. I said that I shaved the bearings and in actuality I shaved the spacers. I had to take a couple 16ths off of this spacer so I could center the disc in the caliper, and I shaved off another couple 16ths off of this spacer so the hub would fit and be centered in the swing arm. So this is the correction. I did not shave the bearings, I shaved the spacers. It's going to be kind of tight if you keep the original brake line, the rear brake line. Here's the old one, and it's the rubber one, and it's kind of thick, and it's almost hits the wheel edge. So I replaced it with a stainless brake line here. See if you can see it. You can see the difference in thickness. And by getting this, there's no problem with the wheel ever hitting the brake line. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is get the wheel in my jack and get ready to assemble this. I'll be right back. Okay, got everything set up, ready to go here. Got myself a little jack. I'm here by myself, so to make it easier, I'm going to jack the wheel up into place so I can fit the brake caliper and the axle into place. I'm going to try to record everything here to make it easier for anybody that wants to do this in the future, because the everything's tight, so everything has to fit in place and in sequence. So the caliper here is going to be the problem. Tolerances are so close here. You can't put the caliper on the swing arm and then fit the wheel in like you did with the stock wheel. You have to maneuver the caliper and the wheel almost at the same time. So my objective here is to get it in there without scratching the wheel, the rim up. I've done this 2 or 3 times, but it seems like every time you do it, it seems like the first time again. It's not, no matter what you learn the first time doing it, it's like it's not the same again the next time. So, like I said, I'm going to try to record everything so that you can see the problems or the easiness of putting this together. So, okay, so now I have this set up here, and I'm going to figure out a way to show how the caliper is going to be placed as I slip the wheel into the swing arm. So I'm going to move on and put the camera on the other side. Alright, I'm on the other side here now, and I'm just going to show you something. This is where the caliper, the rear caliper, is mounted to. And the caliper has like a a slot cut into it, as you can see. Alright. So what the slot is for, it goes into this like so. So this is cut like this all the way through. As you can see, it's cut all the way through here because this is how the wheel is adjusted in the swing arm. So the caliper moves with the wheel as it gets adjusted, and you center the wheel and tighten your drive belt. So show you again here. Slides through like this. Now your axle. Your axle slides through here. And so when you adjust your wheel, it just goes like so. So, like I said before, this is very tight in here, and then, as you can see, you see the caliper sticks out in here, and if you look at the wheel, you can't get the tire with this already mounted, so it has to be mounted at the same time the wheel gets put in there. So I'm going to do this the best I can to show you how this works. Okay, so I'm going to take the caliper out. Get myself a rag. Got myself a rag just so I don't scratch the wheel, the rim, my powder coating. So, alright, let's see what we can do here now. I'm by myself, so I'm recording this. So I have to adjust the camera as we do this. Okay, so I'm going to move the wheel in. Okay, with that in there, I'm going to put the caliper into the wheel. Okay, so as you can see, there's the pads, and the disc goes in there. So what I'm going to do is put the caliper into the wheel already. Forgot about the rag. This is the first time I'm using it. The other time I did without a rag, and I saw I was very, very close to damaging the paint. So be very careful. Otherwise, you just wasted money powder coating your wheel. Alright, so I got the caliper in. I'm going to see if I can balance it here. Show you how close it is. Okay, you see the caliper? See the caliper, and you see how much space is left. So that's the reason why you can't put the caliper on here, on its bracket, and then slide the wheel in at the same time. It won't work. So now that I have that on there, I'm going to jack it up so I can slide the caliper onto this bracket. And remember about the rag. Okay, so you guys at home can see this. Hopefully I won't have a problem. Okay, so I'm going to slowly jack it up. Now this is a new way that I decided to do this. Because I was having problems. Okay, we're stuck here somewhere. Okay, good. Alright. Be very careful now. I don't know if you saw that over there. No, you didn't. Alright, let me bring the camera over. Okay, I was paying attention to the caliper and not paying attention to the pulley. And as you can see, I didn't bring the wheel over here. I didn't bring the wheel over there enough. And the pulley was underneath the, as I jacked it up, the pulley was underneath the swing arm and it was lifting the bike up. So be very careful. Make sure you pay attention to both sides, and shouldn't have any problems. Okay, let's try it again. Make sure you hold your caliper while you're under, because you move it up, your caliper will start sliding right down the disc, and it'll fall right off. Okay, so now I'm jacking it. This time I'm paying attention to the pulley. Once I get it high enough, then the pulley can just rest on the edge of the swing arm. I don't have to worry about it getting underneath it. Okay, now the pulley is past there. Okay, right at the moment, I don't think we have to worry about this is here. Okay, move it in. You can move it in as close as you want to the end of the swing arm over there, because you're going to be taking the pulley. I mean, you're going to be adjusting the belt so it'll pull away from there. But right now, so it'll be easier, you can push the tire and the wheel all the way in. So as I'm working here, I think I got the height okay. Just have to maneuver this in there. Gotta go higher. As you can see, I'm touching the rim here. I mean, all the fuss and a little bit of care you have to take here is well worth it if you want to get that wheel, this wheel to fit. We're getting there. Okay, here's where the axle goes. Here's where the axle goes. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, you see how much further we have to go up for this to be even with the hole for the axle. So we have some height here we have to go. Alright, we're going to bring it in a little bit. Bring it back out a little bit. Now if you have two people working here and you know exactly what you guys are going to be doing, you should have no problem. Alright. Slide it in there. And there's your brake caliper. You can adjust that later, but right now, caliper is in there. You don't have to worry about it damaging your powder coat or your paint or your chrome. Okay, you see it in there? Now, as far as I see, okay, now that you have this in here, now you can move this wheel up and down without any problems as long as you hold this, because now you're going to have to fit the spacers in on both sides. And the left spacer, you're going to have the wheel dropped a little bit so the spacer fits into the hole where the pulley is. So, okay, so what I'm going to do here now, alright, now I'm going to let okay, you see where alright, you see where the disc is here in the caliper? Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lower the wheel. So Now the wheel comes down and see how the disc is in the caliper. Just drop it just a little bit. And this way we can fit the spacers on both sides. Now on the axle, I'm going to slip the axle in here now because in order to hold the caliper in place and also the spacer. Okay. When I pulled the axle out, I had a little rust on there, and everybody complains about it's actually riding on the bearings, but sitting in there, the axle corrodes, and then it corrodes to the spacer that's in your hub, and then it's takes a hell of pounding to get your axle out of there, and mine was starting to corrode. So what you use is anti-seize. You just put a very light film of anti-seize all the way up and down the axle. Okay, I'm using a rag here because this stuff is really bad news. It gets over on everything. Your fingers just touch it. Next thing you know, you got it on almost everything you're touching. So I'm trying to avoid getting it on my hands here. So, all right. So we're going to start here. Here's for the caliper side. So. Gotta have 4 hands here. Gotta wiggle in here a little bit. I'm lifting slowly so I can get the tip of the end of the axle to fit into the spacer. And there it goes. It's in there. Now I'll just keep jacking it up till center the axle into the hub. Okay, so there's a spacer for the caliper side. And if you see if I can get and here's the spacer for the pulley side, right in there. So in order for these both to fit, you have to drop it just a little below the swing arm, and then you just slip your spacers in there. Now they can't fall out. If you can't put them in when it's up like this, you're not going to fall out. So it's all centered now. So all I got to do now is gently tap the axle in to the hub. And with the anti-seize in there, it's sizing it very easy. Okay, the end is coming close to the spacer. Now it's in the spacer. And there it is, comes out the other end. Okay, so I'll let you see it. See how it's in there? Okay, there's the end of the axle right there. Right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop the jack. And we're going to put the belt on. Drop the jack and get the jack out of there. Okay. Okay, so all you have to do now is to slide back and forth, no problem. So I got it all the way in, so the belt, fully turn it slowly so you don't get any nicks in there. There, we have it. Now there's an adjustment procedure in the manual, so I'm not actually going to adjust this right now. I'm just going to get it out as much as I can to show you the spacing between the belt and the tire, and it's not hitting. So, all right, can you see that? This is what you use to adjust the axle swing arm, and also it tightens the belt. See the belt how it is right now. Okay, I'm just adjusting it enough to keep the wheel free. So this This video is just to show you how the wheel is mounted to the bike. As far as the adjustments, every bike is different, so that's why I'm not going to do it here, because you may not have the same adjustments. Alright, you see? If you hear anything, it's the disc hitting the pads in the caliper. Alright, so let's bring you over to the belt area in the wheel. So as you can see, there's your spacing right here, and it's probably a quarter of an inch. That's what my spacer, that's how I have my spacer made, about a quarter of an inch. And like I said, you don't have to, when the bike is moving, your belt goes this way. When your bike is moving forward, the wheel goes this way, your belt goes that way. So you don't have to worry about it creeping this way when the bike is moving, so it will never, it won't touch the tire. Now let's see if I can. Bike since who knows when, and all he did was just have made different size belts to fit whatever configuration of bike they were making at the time, Harley was making at the time. So you can see how wide that sprocket is, and you see how your belt is. So it's perfect, no touching. See? Now if you go back, you'll even go backwards slowly. It's not going to creep. So if you need to back your bike up, everything's perfect here. This has to be adjusted. Like I said, all I'm doing here is showing you that it fits, and you have no problems with clearance whatsoever. And let's show you the caliper side. As you can see, it's pretty close in there. And if you can see in here, let's see if I can give you a better view. Okay, you see your brake line. Your brake line goes over here. You see the space between the brake line and the wheel and the tire. You have plenty of space here. Now with the original one being so thick, you're very, very close to the tire, and I didn't trust it. But because this new line is thinner. I didn't have to reroute it. I used the same routing as the factory used. So I lucked out there. So that's it. Now this is an 04 Dyna, and all models of Dynas in 04 had a 150 millimeter tire in it, and I think the 150 millimeter started in 99. I'm pretty sure 2000. So check your manual, or check your owner's manual, that little book you got when you bought the bike. And if you don't have one, just go to your dealer and you can order one, and they'll give you the measurements of the tire, the rear tire it used for your model. So if your tire had a 150 millimeter tire to start with, then this whole conversion can be done to your bike. So I think that, I'm not sure about 99, but 2000 to 2005, because after that Harley made the new frame, and it's completely different. So you can put a 200 with no problem on the new frame. And possibly you can even use the fender, but I'm not going to even get into that, because that has nothing to do with this conversion. So there you got it. And everything's at paint right now, and I'm going to get this up on YouTube in a few days, and so it'll probably be into February. If you're watching this, yeah, this video will probably be in February, and I'm not going to be able to get my paint till end of March, beginning of April. So, but when I do, I will make a video on how the Voodoo fender is going to look and fit onto the bike. Also, I'm going to have to, because of the Voodoo fender, the Voodoo bracket fits right here, and the shock mount fits between the shock and the shock mount right here, and so I got some space, an extra, I don't know, quarter inch maybe, and made my bottom bolt not fit. It's the spacer. I need a bigger spacer, and I need a longer bolt, and I'm having no problem finding anybody that sells a bolt with the threads on the end, and you got this longer shank. Because if you put this bolt in and you have the threads in this hole here, even though you got it torqued, the movement of the bike, the threads are going to eat up and oblong this hole here that's holding the shock mount. You need to have your bolt smooth. What this shank is, this what the shank is for. This shank should be in this mounting hole here for the shock. So I went everywhere, and I can't find anyone that has. I can't even get a blank and have my machinist thread it. So I like the bolt, but I might have to find another type of bolt to fit in there, and maybe put a cap on the end here. We'll see. That's another job. That's what happens when you do customizing on your bikes. There's always another, you change stuff and you have to replace it. So hope this helps you. Hope this helps everybody that's interested in this, and this already settles the myth and answers the question. Yes, you can put a 200 millimeter tire on the older Dyna frame. So with that said, talk to you later. Alright, I just wanted to show you guys the Voodoo struts in the bracket. I'll put that on just to let you guys see how it looks. Also, the belt guard fits, the lower one, and the upper one does too. There's just a little problem. The nut. This is where the upper belt guard connects to, and the nut goes back here, and it's hitting this nut here. So I just gotta get a thinner nut to fit in there. But there's plenty of clearance for the lower belt guard and the upper belt guard. So you still can use that if you want. Some guys leave it off, some guys put it on. I'm gonna put it on. Makes it look more like came from the factory. So yes, I just wanted to end this video with these two more things I added. So okay, goodbye.